Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. I'm going to do a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave the rest. Use your wonderful powers of discernment and only take what applies to you. Without further ado, I'm going to let Spirit pass through. Yeah, thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your comments, subscribes, and your donations. They really do help out the channel, and I am so, so thankful. I also do have personal readings available. So if you're feeling called, definitely check those out. They're on the post section of the channel page. I probably did this one. Huh? Do it again. Okay. Any more? Maybe? That one? Interesting. Okay. Okay. So the first song that came out it's from Drop the World by Lil Wayne featuring Eminem. The part that I wrote down is the top gets higher the more that I climb. The spot gets smaller and I get bigger, trying to get in where I fit in, no room for a bleep. I know what they don't want to tell you. Just hope you're heaven sent and you're hell proof. Okay, and then I just kept hearing the next part of the song, and basically says confidence is a stain they can't wipe off. Okay, what I'm picking up is you may be going through the part, okay, you may be going through the part of ascension where people that you used to hang out with don't really resonate anymore. um yeah. uh, what do we want to say about a spirit? So what's interesting is I was just kind of brought back to different phases of my awakening where this happened. And it can be difficult. It really can be because oftentimes what happens is we start to have like it can be almost like awkward interactions. Like I remember at one point after I had my full awakening and all of that, and it had been a few years, whatever, I remember all of a sudden I was like socially awkward for a little bit. And it was just weird, like because I went through this phase where I just wasn't really able to be around certain people anymore. And then so I went into a phase where I didn't really talk to a whole lot of people. And then I started talking to people again. And it was just like I didn't really, it was like I didn't really know how, okay, I got you. I didn't know like how to start conversations anymore. And so that could be what you're going through right now is if you're going through the awakening and you're really starting to come to understandings and have okay, hold on, spirit. You're coming into the awareness of different things. You're seeing different things. You're having different experiences with different, maybe you're having otherworldly experiences. Interacting with beings, that kind of thing. Opening up the third eye and really, going through all of these, crazy, awesome, super cool experiences. And then you're like, trying to go, I just heard go kick it with the homeboys. And you're sitting there like, yeah, man, I really just don't want to talk about any of this. So, like, I'm saying that spirit. Okay, basically, the scene that I was just painted is like, you used to sit there and kick it and be like, what's up on this? And, it's just talking about kind of, the party scene, let's say. Um, and then all of a sudden you're going through this awakening and you're like, yeah, you want to hear about, like the fifth dimension? You wanna hear about the earth shifting? You wanna hear about, your higher self and number synchronicities? And, are you waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning? And so it can be a really weird experience to not it's one of those, like, you're immersed in this entire other experience, and then attempting to have, just go kick it and talk about sports can just feel dull, basically. Um, yeah, so uh, just know that one is pretty normal to kind of have these experiences. And the other thing too is just know that by releasing those connections that are no longer really serving your highest vibration, it doesn't mean you have to like cut everybody off. You don't have to be that extreme about it. Uh, Um, I kind of was for a little bit, but you don't have to be that extreme about it. You can still have these interactions with other people that aren't, going through the awakening process right now. Just be mindful if it's starting to drain your energy. So if you're going over there and you just have to kind of like be mindful, or having people come over, whatever, you're hanging out in situations with people who aren't really aware of this spiritual awakening journey, be mindful of if it's draining your energy or not. That's a really good kind of guidepost to know if it's in alignment with you. Because sometimes it is nice to just go take a break from all of the spiritual awakening stuff and to, watch, a football game or something. That can be, it can also be kind of grounding and like, just like, okay, I'm gonna just plug in for a little bit and have this experience. And then, I'm gonna get back on my spiritual awakening bandwagon later and call it good. If you start to feel yourself being drained, that's when I would suggest to tap in and see if you're being called to, really take some distance from that person. And for some of them, you're gonna be called to release it entirely. That being said, sometimes, a lot of times, what happens is you just kind of start to vibrate out of alignment with people. And so it almost just kind of naturally can happen where you just, you don't hang out as much. You're not called to be in these situations, in these environments as much anymore. And then all of a sudden you'll find yourself like, wow, I haven't hung out with that person in a month. And you used to hang out with them every other day or whatever. You know, flip it how it fits. But you get the general idea of what I'm explaining, and it's allowing that process to happen. And just know that what is removed from your life is making the space for something a whole lot, I don't really want to say better because I don't want to, put a hierarchy on it. It's just going to fit more with who you are now, with the vibration that you're putting out now, with the energy that you're in now, with the version of yourself that you're choosing to be now. You will attract new people in and new experiences in, especially by being true to yourself and by holding your authenticity. So just know that. Okay. Okay. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. There was another card that came out, but I just heard that that's for an entirely new message. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this here, and then we'll get into that one on the next one. So I hope this resonated. If so, let me know in the comments below. If you like this message, you can hit that like button. And if you would like to see more content from me, you can hit that subscribe button. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.